to have you, and let's check in for real this time, right? Hopefully, no interruptions. But if so, knowing that they're spirit led, right? So we're starting with our three of coins, dual three of coins at the bottom of the deck here, and then the first card out. We're co-creating, and I just heard it's reaping dividends. So something makes me feel like the very start of your day with the three of coins is you what feels like just taking the steps that you're supposed to take, doing the things that I feel like you are being led to do. Some of you, this could just be like going to work, getting to work on time, right? Being a team play, working with works well with others is kind of what it gives. Is like you are just, there could be some significance around feedback. Okay, so I don't know if you are contributing feedback. Something makes me feel like spirit has you putting some sort of resources together. It doesn't feel like you're putting together a plan. It feels like the plan is already put together. All you're doing is, yeah, I just heard walking it out. I walk it out. Oh, East side walk it out. West side walk it out. I feel like you're just walking out, you're working out the plan. Maybe there is some sort of workout plan. Is it Ye's workout plan? It's a workout plan. It's not Kanye. So, hey, for some, maybe that resonates for some of you. Maybe there's some sort of workout plan. Okay, maybe we can work it out, right? Maybe you're working things out with someone. I can't lie. I feel a lot of energy coming in. Thank you guys. I appreciate you coming back. Girl, Aileen, girl, you can look at you hitting your goals. This is what, I hope people get. And yeah, look, I read tarot, right? So I ain't hating on no tarot reader, right? But I hope people get to the point where there are some questions that you no longer feel like you need to ask someone else and have their validation on. And I'm saying that for you, Aileen, because you have to know your power when you're putting your effort into things. Will I get my CNA? Will I get the job at Old Navy? What is the effort that you're putting in? And is it part of the plan? Why do you want that job? What is it that you're working on? Know that you're capable of acquiring all of the things that you want. Do you want that job? Do you want to get your CNA? Because if you want it, then you can have it. But it's a matter of how you apply yourself. Are you willing to take the steps to get it? Are you co-creating in order to get it done? Or are you asking me because there's an aspect of you that feels some sense of desperation? If you're feeling desperation, there's a need for you to release that and to trust, right? To trust that everything is going to come together the way that it should. That if that's not the plan, because sometimes that's why we feel desperate, because if that's not the plan, if that's not the route that we're supposed to take, if that's not the direction that we're supposed to go, then we don't know what direction to go. And sometimes we're like, well, spirit, I don't know what direction to go. So I really hope that they come through, right? When we just have to trust when that reality collapses, a new one is being established, and allow for the new to come in, because that's going to be what sustains you. Let's continue forward, okay? So this three of coins energy, I feel like there's something that you're capitalizing on, okay? I don't get this in a bad way, but let me just be very clear. In whatever this is, trust if there is something that you can capitalize on, that you should. And the reason is because you have people who don't have that same moral compass as you do, boo. And if there's an opportunity to capitalize, they sure enough gonna take it. Okay, so when you, in all of your goodness and all your righteousness and all of your right standing, have an opportunity to capitalize on something, I just heard you get your gains. Okay, so I feel like that's a whole message for somebody. Trust, this is a co-creation. This is spirit giving you this, giving you them an opportunity perhaps for you to be able to see some growth. Okay, so I feel like whatever it is that you see, go ahead, take whatever that opportunity is, okay, with the Ace of Wands, okay? Obviously, this is as you desire it, right? If it ain't what you want, right, then that's not the message for you. That's for someone else, okay? I ain't gonna lie, Savannah, look, you're very anxious about it. Look, I'm not that sugarcoater, okay? I'm that person that's going to tell you, if you anxious about getting pregnant and you're on birth control, then you need a better form of birth control. You have to understand, right? It's some things, that's the way your body was designed, okay? Your body was designed to give birth to children, okay? So if your body is designed to give birth to children, you may use an artificial substance, but there's nothing that supersedes your power, okay? And that doesn't mean that birth control doesn't work, obviously, but it means that if you want to control the birth, you have to control the birth. That means what? Self-control, right? Does that mean abstinence? It could, right? It depends on that could just mean that you need to be better about whatever it is that you're using in order to control. Don't get caught up in don't get lost in the sauce, right? Don't get caught up in the passion, okay? But I'm be honest, I'm not the one. I'm not the person that's gonna tell you whether or not you with child, and that's just because there are some things that are on your end, and that's not to make you anxious, right? I don't want to make you anxious or worried about being pregnant, but I'm trying to help you focus in the right place, okay? Um, I'll be honest, I don't feel like you need to worry about pregnancy right now. Um, but I think that that's something that's in your future, because this is not the first time that you've been in this situation where you've been worried or anxious about being pregnant. And that's a sign or an indication that your habits have to change, okay? Yeah, as you said, I'm right. Thank you for comfort. Thank you for receiving my heart. That's an indication that your habits have to change, because every time you end up in that situation, what you're doing is manifesting it to you. Because every time you stress about it, you obsess over the thought of it, and it comes closer and closer until eventually that's what's going to happen. Okay? So just be mindful, right? You got to change your habits. That's what's going to lead to different outcomes. Okay, have fun. Let's see what the Three of Coins is. The Page of Wands. Okay, it gives like excitement, right? Ready to put some things to work. I can't lie, I'm kind of getting like some of y'all ready to put your magic to work. Put your magic to the test. I can't lie, I'm getting a Malachi 3:10. Try me and see when I open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. You won't have room enough to receive. Something makes me feel like your blessings is getting ready to pour in. But it feels like the morning is, I don't know if you are reaching out, if you're venturing out in some way, or if this is someone reaching out to you. Let me just say, this energy, the direction that it's kind of going is something coming. I feel like this is something maybe that you're putting out, or that you're doing. This feels like something that you're doing. You I don't know if you're sending a message, if you're doing something. I don't know why it kind of gives like a little nudge, right? I feel like you trying your hand at something, okay? That's honestly what it feels like. The AM is you trying something. Trying something on for size, trying something out. Feeling inspired, it feels like, to assert your power or your authority in some way, okay? And this could just be like I have to say, this feels like a new authority, okay? So it feels like something that, again, it feels like something that you're trying, but let me see if I can include this. This could be like in your wardrobe, right? For some of you, it's your hand, okay? You think about young hand, right? I just heard right hand, so for somebody that's gonna resonate, you trying your right hand, right? The right hand is righteousness, okay? You ain't doing no dirty work, okay? So I feel like you trying your hand at something, okay? I also get this energy of something in the AM is coming across as like exciting news, where this is like something you're glad this could be like a person, but it's almost, it could be community based, but it's like something that you're glad to be a part of. I'm excited to be a part of this, or to be around you, or it's I can't lie, I just heard it's giving Folgers, right? So it could be your morning coffee, but it's like the excitement of Folgers in your cup. There, yeah, this is interesting because the star is coming up here. So you guys know we've had these towers, right? Towers are, excuse me, towers are Scorpio energy, but I get a very strong energy of Uranus, okay? Uranus rules Aquarius, and Uranus has to do with an unexpected element of life, but is usually sudden. I have to be completely honest. When I see the Wheel of Fortune here, something makes me feel like the towers that are at play right now. Thank you for the follow, my love. Appreciate that, Desin. I feel like, hey, good to see you, H. Hey, Isabel. Grand rising to you too, love. And thank you for the roses, my dear. Y'all forgive me because I ain't been looking at y'all know, right? She squinting. One day I'll be able to talk. Screen squinting, right? But Uranus brings this unexpected element that, let me just say, it feels electrifying. And something makes me feel like the towers at play, and obviously, I can't speak for everyone, right? For some, these towers are going to be like shock, like that's why you got electrocuted, right? Stay away from them lines, okay? Like, but I can't lie, it's kind of like sudden death, sudden glory is what it feels like. You know how you have situations where people, it's like they've been meddling, right? But this feel like the co-creation. That's that time, like, I told you stop all that mess. Some of y'all, this could certainly be like your kids, right? Getting into trouble or getting into stuff. And this go around is the tower where Uranus, it's like they didn't expect whatever that is to happen. It's also the beautiful aspect of, like, blessings, benefits. That's like being at the end of your rope and maybe expecting that rope to break. And then unexpectedly, here comes a star, which is interesting because this is actually giving me an energy that I don't normally get from the star, because it's giving like Star of David, it's giving like the coming of the Messiah, salvation type of energy. So some of you, I kind of feel that energy in terms of a tower is this breaking through, or the sudden coming, if you will. I can't lie, this is giving like second coming of Christ. And for those of you who have been with me for any period of time, you know that the revelation or the insight that was given to me about the second coming of Christ is that it's not his body in a physical sense, but the mind of Christ that is coming again, and that it's coming in each of us. It's being reborn, if you will, in each of us. So I can't lie, this is giving like Jason Bourne, the Bourne identity. So something makes me feel like you could be coming into your agency. As y'all can see, girl is thirsty, boy. she will go through about 3-4 days in a in a 20-minute period, like Mrs. Peabody. Anyway, it's giving like the Bourne identity, but this makes me feel, for somebody, there could be like, you could have like your own insurance agency. There could be something significant about that. You could certainly be getting some sort of news about what could, I don't know why I'm kind of getting like a team building event, or like this could certainly be like a new member or something like that. And anyway, whatever this is, it feels as though it feels very messianic. And when I say that, I'm really referring to a divine aspect of your identity or your DNA that's shining through. This feels somewhat genetic, having to do with genealogy, um, and what feels almost like Uranus being um, like an unanticipated DNA activation that's taking place. And in whatever this unanticipated DNA activation is, it is um, it is in some way um, revealing this aspect of your identity that is messianic in nature, is the Messiah, or is going to save you, or some aspect of circumstances. I can't lie, I'm trying not to get too deep in this, but I feel I don't know if this applies for everyone, but I definitely feel something about this is very prophetic. When I see the star and the wheel of fortune, this is like a prophecy of fate. It's giving like a tale of two fates, a prophecy about fate. There's also something that I'm picking up about like destiny swapping, genetic alignment. But let me be very clear, this is kind of like the destiny swap unexpectedly fails in someone's true identity. It's almost like they looked like the star. They're not. And this time around, when they go to shine, I just heard it's dull. But it's also like if someone maybe looked like they were desperate this time around, it's like they're getting their destiny back, because something about the DNA activation was what was unanticipated, and their true identity is shining through. So I know, like I said, I get that that maybe doesn't resonate for everyone, but I definitely feel like for some it certainly will. There's some aspect, yeah, look at that, I can't make this up. The star and the emperor, this is like the true you shining through, but it's like your true power. This is like being in your rightful place. This is truly your authority. This is who you really are. Something about that, which makes me feel, especially in today's daily grind, because we had sudden wealth, this makes me feel like everything is lining up. And it kind of feels like finding out, yeah, I hear Jada Kiss. What if you never knew things that you needed to know? What if you never been places you needed to go? This feels like you finding out some things. And keep in mind, it's not one-sided, so other people are finding out about you too. This is like divine alignment. This is, I can't, y'all, this deep. It is. As much as I want to make it not deep, this feel like a seal being broken. And with the dual towers, that would make sense. If you guys have been with me during our study of Revelation, this feel like a seal of some sort. And you know, the look, y'all just walk with me, right? If you can, right? If you can keep up, if you can't, right? Fall back, right? It's cool, walk by yourself, right? Um, but in talking about like the book of Revelation, right? Everybody wants to uncover what that prophecy actually means. But when we look at yeah, I just heard cross examination. There could be some significance about that. Something came up in my meditation about somebody getting out of jail. It's like they don't have anything on them. This is like somebody who's been stuck, somebody who's been bound. They don't have shit on them. Okay, they don't. That person is going to be released. Okay, they have to let them go. That's part of like the reality collapsing. But this is kind of giving like if you look at it, it talks about like we've talked about seven seals, seven vials, seven angels, seven trumpets. Um, in this, there is in that process there is a flowering all its own. So when we talk about these seven angels and these seven trumpets, speaking to like announcements, and then the seven seals. We are looking at that taking place within us. Okay. So all of this happens within us. If we look at the way that we have an effect or an impact on our world, if we are literally made in the image of God, then some aspect of our being establishes the order of the earth or of the world, right? So if we not being who we supposed to be, right? If there are aspects of us that need to be healed, right? With those vials, those elixirs that pour out, if there are aspects of us that are sealed, that have been bottled up. Again, when we look at like whether it's genetic changes, be it through epigenetics, which is changes in the environment, we have chemtrails, things like that that are changing our makeup. We have chemicals in the food. We have things that are airborne pollutants, right? Environmental hazards and things like that that literally change our makeup, right? They can sometimes mutate aspects of our identity as well as other things, right? I feel an energy of that being or having been at play, oh reality, right? But what happens, right? And this is why I say not everyone, because everybody's not going to put in the work. But for those of you, for those of us who have been putting in the work, right? Who have been trying to take authority over these things, right? In whatever way we can. It doesn't mean we solved all the problems, if you will, but if for those of us who've been willing to look at ourselves, to take those vials in a sense, to heed the sound of those trumpets when we get those warnings, right? Maybe it is look at the things that we do. Maybe it is to address our health, to be better, to take authority over some of those things that we know are issues. Then what happens is we actually break those seals internally. And whether this is a seal being broken internally or whether this is a manifestation in your environment or your reality where those seals are being broken, that's honestly what it feels like. I have to say, those of you, y'all know y'all be talking, right? I don't know if you guys saw what's happening in, I want to say, New York City. They have flooding in the subway areas. But if I can't lie, I cried. I cried laughing. I saw one video was of the street and it wasn't water. It was the sewer. It was the lid. The lid to the sewer was literally, it was piping up, right? Like it was something underneath that kept causing the lid to jump. And the caption was like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles must be pissed right now. And I know, I can't lie. This is kind of giving like the sewer lid. Maybe that resonates for someone, but it's like the lid to the sewer is popping off. What's happening? The turtles got to come up, right? It's Cowabunga. Maybe something significant about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And maybe your turtle's in the half shell, right? Maybe it was Michelangelo, Donatello, right? Raphael. Who knows? Giving Archangel Raphael. They like them angels. Little do you know, they thought we was in the sewer because we don't mind that gutter life, right? We'll come down there, okay? I ain't gonna lie, that hit different. But anyway, let's continue, okay? So again, like I said, right, obviously we have a much deeper perspective where there's something very prophetic that's taking place today that has to do with what feels like fate or destiny. Who was destined to rule? Who was destined to be in power? Who was destined perhaps to have authority in a certain situation? And I just heard they are going to be given authority with the Ace of Coins and the Emperor. Someone could be certainly given a promotion. This is like giving keys, giving money or resource. This could certainly be like someone is accepting a proposal. Someone could be offering some sort of proposal, okay? So for some of you, this, I can't lie, I get an energy. For some of y'all, somebody could certainly be stepping up in some way, right? But it's creating opportunity. But I feel like it's a result of these are signs of your authority, is what it feels like in prophecy coming to, yeah, I literally just heard, it shall come to pass. Something is fated. And it's something, let me just tell you this. I feel like for those of you who have maybe felt desperate, I feel like you've been, I just heard walking by faith and not by sight. I just heard you couldn't see anything, but you simply had to continue taking the steps it is that you were being guided to take. This feels the energy of someone feeling their way around in the dark. Couldn't see anything, but I'm just going to feel my way around. And had you not done that, something makes me feel like you would have been on the other side. On I just heard the underside of fate this time around, but something makes me feel like that's not the case. I just heard on the upside of favor. Okay, so some made me feel there's some sort of favor that's going to be given or granted to you. Somebody could be getting some sort of a grant, but this favor is going to be granted or given. This feel like freely given. So something is going to be placed in your hand is what this feels like. Queen of Wands, clarifying the wheel, right? The Queen of Wands. I just love this lady, right? I just love her. I do. Can't lie. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, right? Could be a feminine. Doesn't have to be a woman, though. Okay, this could be a masculine who he's just that good at what he does that when you look at him, he don't really look. He just look like he just has a way of making things happen, turning the wheel. Don't never touch the wheel, but it always keep turning. Okay, I can't lie. This is a very magical energy when I see the Queen of Wands. This is someone who they just got it. They got the skill, they got the ability, they got the look, they got the touch, they got the talent. They know how to talk right, they know how to act right. They gonna do it right. That's what it feels like. Okay, so because some could be significant with Tank, right? I can't lie. The Queen of Wands is a person, she just fills your tank. She does. She does. She just fills your tank, right? Gases it all the way up, okay? Have you on full, okay? The Queen of Wands delivers. And she's glad to, right? She does it with joy. That's just her thrill. That's what gets her going. That's what wakes her up in the morning, right? I love making you that cup of Folgers, babe, right? Love pouring you up that hot cup of Joe, right? I love it when you drink my coffee, okay? This is somebody who has the will, the desire, right? Speaking of the will, they're in the will, okay? So if this is a person, just know, right? By afternoon, if this is a person coming in, this is in the will, okay? This is destiny, okay? This is fate, okay? Something makes me feel like you're going to, I hear the word eager, but this is kind of like an energy that you have a desire to connect with or that you were meant to connect with. For some of you, this is not a person. This is an energy that you're taking on and you're actually doing something, but it's something that you were meant to do. But this feels like with the Wheel of Fortune, this is fate that is at play. And the reason that you are being given the opportunity to do it is because it's something that you were meant to do, which makes me feel like it's something that you're going to have a desire to. But again, I feel whatever this is unexpected, but it also feels like it was also meant to be. Okay. So something fated is taking place by, it feels like midday, but whatever this is taking place was meant to happen. And it feels as though you were this whatever this opportunity is was meant for you, okay? And this could be a person, yeah, because I see the King of Coins with the Ace of Coins. So whether this is, sometimes that's business, sometimes the King of Coins is a person who, they value commitment. So this could be someone who wants some sort of commitment. I see the Ace of Swords, okay? Yeah, it's like they value regularity, and whatever this is, it feels as though it could certainly be a connection being made, or where someone is making that known to you, or you're making that known to someone. I want to get one more card because this is a face card. Okay, some could be significant about a face card. Your face, your face, your face, your face. One more time, one more time. Eight of coins. Okay. So for some of you, this is work. Okay. This is work, the business. But let me just say, I'm from the Eight of Coins, I'm getting more than work. This is like having to do with study, which can be like getting to know some, learning about something, applying something that you've already learned, or getting to what feels like carry out something. That's what this is. I don't know, some of you could be carrying, but this, you get to carry out something or to do something that I feel like you've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to do this job. I've been wanting to work on this. I've been wanting to get this done. There's something that I feel like you've been wanting to work on, be it a relationship or otherwise. This is going to come up, okay? Let me just tell you this. This gonna come up, not what you want it to be, but what's meant for you in this time, okay? So I'm saying this because some of y'all, right, you may feel desperate for a relationship, but Spirit may be saying, I want to teach you something right now, right? This is a good time for me to teach you something. So even though I realize that's what you want, right, it's time to learn, right? It could also be you like, Spirit, I want to study, and Spirit is like, you already studied, right? I need you to put what it is that you studied to work. That's what time it is right now, right? This could also be for some of y'all, you consume with work, right? Just want to do my job, right? And Spirit may be saying, no, it's relationship time. I want you to partner up. You've done plenty on your own. And it's time for you to work on some things, and it's time for you to start to get to know someone, right? This could be, it's time for you to start working on some friendships, right? Time for you to work on building your community. There's something of that nature that I feel like, I hear Florida Georgia line. If it's meant to be, it'll be, it'll be, baby, just let it be. Ride with me, ride with me, see where this thing goes. That's what midday feels like, okay? Working on something that you were meant to work on, okay? Whatever this is. But let me just say, something about this feels very therapeutic, okay? So it feels like it's healing. As you do the work, that's how I feel like you're going to know you're favored to do it, because something about it is healing. This can mean that the work is effective, and that as you apply yourself, you find that you have a greater sense of peace. This can mean that you, with the Wheel of Fortune, you actually have actual fortune, and whatever it is that you're doing, oh my God, it's actually working. It's actually working. It's actually working, right? This is like, oh my gosh, like it's almost this energy of like, whatever was a problem or whatever was an issue, it's not a problem anymore, right? It's just like, I can sleep, right? Like, oh my goodness, right? That worked. So I feel there's something of that nature at play today, midday, that you either learned, you're applying, or you're learning in order to apply. But whatever this is, you were meant to learn it, you were meant to apply it, you were meant to do whatever this is. I like it. It feels almost like a solution is being revealed. Is what it feels like. You're finding out what works, what's effective, okay? What to do, what to do, what to do. I like it. I like it, girl. Don't you know I like it? Baby, baby. I want to get one more card if you guys will allow me. Will you allow me? To go back and clarify this AM. That's all right with you. The girl's all right with me. You know the girl's all right. So she ain't got no sense. Nern. Squeals. I ain't gonna lie. The sun, right? It's I can't. Y'all already know. It's giving little orphan Dannie, right? I have to call it that. It's giving a little. It's giving a little orphan. The sun will come out. Yeah. I can't lie. That's what this feel like. This feel real self-explanatory. Okay, Page of Wands, the Sun, and the Three of Coins. Okay, this is the. I'm telling y'all, there is a light that shines special for you and me. There are times when you need someone, I will be by your side. Um, I can't lie. The sun feel like something. I told you guys. I feel this energy of like trying something, but this isn't you, right? Obviously, the sun is the light in you, the solar plexus. This feels. Let me just say, whatever spirit has you doing or incorporating today, this is your solar plexus is driving it. There's some aspect of you being a product of what created you that is illuminating this path that even gives you the desire to incorporate, to include, to do this. This feels like I don't if you're including a person, some make me feel like they part of your tribe. But with the sun, you see that very clearly because you see what feels like a mirror image or a reflection of who you are. Like this is kind of like this this is a very playful energy, especially when I see these two together, right? This is like kids playing in the sun, right? Sidewalk talk, right? Let's draw, right? So I don't know, maybe you are playing, maybe you are a kid, right? Maybe you are out, I don't know. I hear the name Paul could be significant, but like I said, I kind of get, I don't know, some of you could definitely be doing something with your mini, with your kid, right? Or like having your kid, like, I don't know if you're doing like a take your kid to work today or like, you decide, right? You call it, okay? I don't know, it's a little early for that, but it's none of my business, right? Maybe that's what your spirit is leading you to. And I'm not judging you, right? Maybe that's divine time. Be like, what is in her coffee? Simply, it's not coffee. It's chicken broth. Buy me a spot tea. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so now we know. Like I said, too many cards of divinity that I'm seeing. The Star, the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, all of them really have to do with like this is like prophecy that my son would be revealed, that my light would shine through. This is like that the truth would be made known. There's something about that, and what feels like the top of the day is in some way like it could be like stepping into the spotlight in some way. I definitely feel like that could certainly be the speaking of, right, with the star stepping into the spotlight. Here KRS-One, step into a world. So you could certainly, that's rapture's delight. So speaking of the rapture, we talking about the coming of the Messiah, and we talking about destiny and prophecy, and it makes sense, okay? But if you think about rapture's delight, the people who's getting caught up is they happy, right? They grateful to be on one accord, right? Ezekiel, right? They grateful to be in that wheel, right? Take me in that chariot, right? Y'all probably like, what is she talking about? No, if you follow, you follow. You know this whole message, boy, and when it play out, you definitely gonna know. Um, because I don't, I feel like the top of the day is starting off with the sun could be really bright today. Like it gives like beaming through. I want to say peeking through, but it gives beaming through. Yeah, look at this Wheel of Fortune. Oh, speaking of, look, yeah, day's breaking already and it's early. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a sunny day. Um, this energy feels exciting from the top of the day. Afternoon, there's something coming in and it feels like things are working. Um, it feels like there's perhaps work to do, but what feels like excitement to be able to do it, a desire to do whatever this is, knowing that you were led or that you were meant to do whatever this is. Oh, the Lover's card is clarifying the Page of Pentacles. Okay. Let's further clarify since we have a major arcana there. The Hermit is at the bottom of the deck. I literally just heard Finster as soon as I held that up. Okay. Now I hear Inspector Gadget. That's where this destiny. Okay. So lovers is usually has to do with like choosing a partnership, right? And usually it's between two. Okay. So I don't know why, but I get some sort of impression of like labeling. Okay. This feels as though there's some sort of labeling, and whether this is choosing between two people or it's just choosing one person, how you're going to label them could be what that is. Okay. There is, okay, I just heard a divine inner knowing, but there's a divine inner knowing that comes in that I feel by the end of the day with the Page of Coins, this could be someone connecting with you, even if it's not a person, it is having some form of contact, whether this is a resource, whether it is a person, a message, um, something like that. This can even be some small means of like confirmation. That usually is energetically connecting you to the way in which I feel you are relating to someone or something, or the way that they're relating to you. To break this down further, when I hear Finster and I see this, obviously Finster with regard to the Hermit is likely referring to that more like sinister, kind of like, I can't lie, it's giving evil, okay, energy, right? Whether it's evil or whether it's just kind of like, that's why I feel this sense of like Inspector Gadget, right? Um, Doom and gloom is kind of what it gives. Like, who is that? Like, is there an Inspector Doom or something like that? I don't know. There, it's giving like one of them little shows. But anyway, um, it feels as though someone is trying to um, find out, right? Um, Someone is trying to find out like how they should relate to someone or what type of relationship they should form with someone or to something. Okay, be clear about that. This is kind of like, is this a Finster relationship? Is this something? But the beauty about the Hermit energy is that, yeah, because here's the Tower and the Hermit. Okay, let's address this from the standpoint of a person first. If a person is, because a hermit, right, as a Finster energy, is one who is, they're hiding. And usually what they're hiding is something that they know perhaps would bother others if they revealed it. So they keep it to themselves. It's an energy of deceit, of covering up, of um, it is keeping it to myself because I want relationship. Con artists operate in hermit energy. So hermits, the blanket energy of the hermit is that they're always very wise. Okay, they're usually very studious, but keep in mind when they're finster, they're eyeing their prey. They're studying their prey, the person or the situation that they want to prey upon. They're looking at what they need to do in order, maybe it is to make it work. Um, they can be a loner, a hermit usually is, but think about too, right? On the converse, think about like a Sadhguru, think about um, Mahatma Gandhi, think about the Dalai Lama, think about the Pope, think about anybody who is in a position of leadership to the degree that they are maybe a very wise teacher, Deepak Chopra. These are people who um, they go their own path. So there's also somewhat of an inconspicuous nature to them as well, right? So when I'm talking about relationship, this is kind of like, how do I relate to you? And you have some people that you will meet and they will carry this inconspicuous energy where they're a loner. They're not trying to get over, they're not trying to hide anything, right? They're not finster. They are just, yeah, I hear y'all say, I'm known to walk alone, but I'm alone for a reason. Sending me a drink ain't appeasing, believe me. Come harder, this won't be easy. This is that energy of with the hermit, right? I'd rather walk alone than to walk in partnership or relationship with what could be people who mean me no good, right? Sometimes it's wisdom in different walks of life or times of life to walk alone until what? I have that divine inner knowing that lets me know I've connected with or made contact, or there has been something energetically that is a sign or an indication that I need to be in relationship or in partnership with. I was led to you. I was directed to you. This is wisdom. I know I'm supposed to establish relationship with you. Okay. So there's something that I feel, honestly, I feel this energy of someone by the end of the day is deciding that, but they're doing this from a place of, if they're seeking to know the ways of wisdom, then they're uncovering what feels like utilizing wisdom, this hermitage, this tutelage. They're using the things that they've learned. They're using, because the hermit, a lot of people don't realize this, right? Again, you think about robes, right? I think about what the judges wear robes, right? You think about priests wear robes, right? Don't nobody know what's going on behind that robe. There's something significant about. Don't nobody know what's going on behind that robe, okay? Who knows what's under that dang on robe, okay? It's not for me to judge, but the reality is that that robe is usually intended to create this neutrality. There's something significant about neutrality, but it's interesting. I was getting some about Denzel, and I'm telling y'all, the great equalizer coming through, right? Flooring the whole dang on place, okay? The great equalizer is coming through, and with the hermit, that's honestly what I feel. This is picking up, I'm picking up on energy of somebody who's very well trained, very seasoned, very studious. And the hermit is very experienced, but experienced in the ways of wisdom. They have studied a lot. So when it comes to, it don't take a lot, right? I think about this, right? Some of you, this could certainly be um, of effect in some area of your, excuse me, I didn't get this out my way, out my face and stuff. This could certainly be like, you know, some of y'all done established expertise in different areas of life, okay? Like, so this might not be your job, but like some of y'all, you do life like it's your job. So when it comes to spotting the real or spotting the fake, I just heard AKA. So I don't know, there could be something about, obviously that's a sorority, but there could be something about an alias is kind of what that's giving. But something make me feel like you good at what feels like spotting. um it don't take a whole lot for you to be able to pick up on things. Your inner wisdom just be knowing stuff. um and something makes me feel like you connecting with someone or with information, and because of how seasoned or experienced it is that you are, it's not taking a whole lot of contact for you to be able to discern how you should relate to something or to someone. Okay. This is kind of like you might have I don't even get, I feel like you don't really need to study. This is, yeah, I just heard you don't need to study long. I see the Queen of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Hermit, which, because we saw the King of Pentacles, this is the energy of like, when you good at something, right? If I'm the expert, if I'm the guru at whatever this is, then it's easy. Even if it's a child or if it's somebody who's new at this, it's easy for me to know with the Queen of Coins if that person is dedicated enough, if they have the skill set or the aptitude to be able to do something, right? And this could be like with grooming, without grooming, right? This can be like wisdom to know, can they take care of themselves? Are they responsible, right? Do they handle their business? Are they authentic? Are they who they say they are? Okay. I can't lie, for somebody, there's something significant at play having to do with like an identity matter. And if that's the situation at play, then something feel like today it's not taking a whole lot for someone to determine. I just heard who's the born. Okay. It's almost like to find out who's the real one. That's what it feel like something about today is. But by the end of the day, that divine inner knowing, which feels like someone's, yeah, I just heard God and honest, okay? And it feel like somebody, and this could just be like they were made for the job, right? They just cut from that cloth. This is who that's who they are. That's a bona fide skill that they have. They just good at what they do. They're just very, again, very well groomed, very well developed, very well seasoned. Something about that feels like it's at play. And this could be like, yeah, here. It's so natural to give my love. It's so easy, it's like second nature, second nature. Well, I'll tell y'all about the sun. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. If this is a relationship, divine inner knowing is telling you who to choose, because whoever this person is, it's effortless. This person is, this is like, it's almost like they were groomed, they were made for you, because the way that they take care of you, you don't have to teach them, it feels like, how to take care either of themselves, right? The way you, it's almost like to be able to match you, you don't have to teach them how to take care of themselves. You don't have to teach them how to take care of you. Some of y'all, this, it could be your kid. There's something like that. I kind of get this energy of like, again, obviously that don't mean like little things that are your particulars, you don't, you might have to tell them, but this is kind of like all you have to do, like, it's like just tell them once, and whoever this is, they good at what feels like just assimilating. They grown. That's what this feel like. So I feel like divine inner knowing, you want to feel immense level of comfort with, I feel like, knowing who to choose or how to choose. Again, it's like if someone is Finster, you gonna know that too. And it's like, oh, I can spot materialistic from a mile away, right? I just heard it stank, okay? But it's like, that's how, if you think about like somebody who's materialistic, or materialism, something makes me feel like you're going to be able to spot it a mile away. But it's also giving like, oh, they, yeah, he was just, no, I mean it. But it's like where they actually mean it, where somebody actually mean it. This make me feel like you want to be able to, King and Queen of Pentacles. And it's, whatever this is strong. is strong. I can't lie, for somebody, this is a person scent. This is like their I'm wanting to say body odor, but it kind of gives like their body chemistry. Something makes me feel like and when I say that, I mean like it's either a strong stench, I I can't take it, or it's strong like I'm weak, right? Like, oh, that's what I can, for somebody that's gonna resonate because somebody has like a point of connection. I'm getting like someone, again, a very strong sense of smell. It's giving like nose like a dog. Like they pick up on what feels like is the slightest tinge, and this feels like, I can't lie. So okay, for somebody, this is just what I'm getting, right hot off the press. Hot off the press. For somebody, this is what I'm getting, okay? And then we're gonna end this. End of the day, you're going to be connecting with someone, okay? You're going to have actual, what feels like, contact with them. In that contact, there's going to be some sort of small exchange, okay? Be it touch or some form of energy, right? They could be giving you something. They could be, it could be verbal contact, right? But that is where the divine inner knowing is coming into play, okay? And whatever this contact is, it does feel like it's going to be small, okay? But in it, it's going to give you the confidence. You're going to know, okay? Because you're going to connect with something. If this is a job, they're doing something that it's almost like they're doing something that previous jobs have done that you hate and you don't have any tolerance for. So when they do it, even though it might be very little, I don't know why it's giving like a drop on a petri dish. It's giving like a sample, if you will. You're getting a sample, it feels like, of some aspect of the energy. And in whatever this sampling is, it has you, what, I don't know why I'm getting this energy of, again, okay, that's the second, that's what I feel like the second, I don't see it, but I feel like the second tower is coming in the evening. And the second tower is, it's either grotesque, which feels like you vomit, you throw it up, you don't have any tolerance, you can't take them, you can't take it, you don't, after that sample, you have no desire for more. It also feels like the other side of that, in this, like I said, it could be different situations, different relationships, different circumstances. So on one hand, some things are going to be grotesque, what feels like spew you out. On the other side, the sample, I just heard more. I ain't gonna lie, I see somebody getting bowls, pictures, cut, more, please. Like this is kind of like, this is kind of, I don't know, I'm getting like bow down. This is like this is where like some of you're going to know your power, okay? Because this is, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm trying to, I'm seeing visions here, and they're quite lovely, honestly. But trying to depict them as well as just be in the moment, right? This feels like maybe you have a business endeavor, something that you're doing. This is like, let me sample, or it's giving like beta testing, right? Whatever that beta test is, like, oh my gosh, the results are so this is kind of like, this is it. This is my ticket. There could be something significant about a ticket. My shoe in. There's something that it feels like a flex, okay? It feels like a flex, okay? We still gotta pull another card to pair with the lovers, just to fully clarify. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for these messages. Ooh. We got Pisces, Leo, Gemini, Aries. Oh, ain't no Aries, but I said it. We saw the Emperor, so perhaps Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus. A lot of energy at play today. And if your sign is not here, it just may be that you're experiencing this. Wow. I feel like some partnerships forming today, very strong partnerships, but it's almost like at the point of inception, at the point of connection, just it not really taking much time to become like a dynamic duo, like to become like a match made in heaven, but also like it not really taking a whole lot to be like irreconcilable differences. Like that's the relationship, like, but it all being for what feels like beneficial purpose. Two of Swords. Okay. That's the divine inner knowing. This would be the lower, the lesser arcana, if you will. The Two of Swords is kind of like the voice inside your head, right? Based on what I'm taking in, what I'm filtering in, what do I know? And this makes me feel like knowing the relationship, knowing the way to relate to something or someone based on what feels like limited information or limited contact, having enough wisdom. This is kind of like wisdom to know what that means, right? I heard maybe it is what I know what you said without it being said, right? I know what that meant without, maybe it is, it's almost like hearing without saying, or speaking without saying, hearing without something being said, reading between the lines, which I like, because that is following your divine inner knowing, right? Yeah, the Six of Coins is coming in. So for some of you, this has to do with like knowing that knowing that you're taken care of, okay? So if you have this is good, okay? This, I feel like, is pointing back to if there's desperation, inadequate, I don't know, it could be like, I don't have enough, right? Or, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, right? This could be my money's far spent, my time is far spent, my energy is far, I don't have any more to give to this situation or circumstance or relationship. Whatever it is, it feels like by the end of the day, getting something that lets you know this is kind of like you taken care of. You're receiving what feels like some sort of help or support, or knowing that this could even be if you were in a position where you weren't. This could certainly be like you are. This also like knowing you owe, right? Like, ooh. I see the Four of Wands here though. This makes me feel like somebody's making a judgment call. And something about this feels like it's all contingent upon that Finster energy that I was picking up. Deciding, is there alignment? Is the road open? Is the path open? Am I going to invite them? or is everything in order or is it not? And it feels like on the other side of that, whatever that is, just knowing if things are taken care of, that's my partner, that's my relationship. I feel confident about who they are. I know they're taking care of business. I know they're responsible. I know they're going to take care of me. Um, or if somebody owes you something, this could certainly be like they're gonna pay you back or they're gonna get you back. Or if you're giving someone something, like it just feels like there's some dynamic like that. You could be giving, you could be receiving, but someone is determining on the other side of that whether or not it feels like there is a relationship. Are you walking in agreement? Can they trust you? Are you being authentic? Are you being genuine? Are you going to take care of them? And then you may be asking the same. Are they going to take care of you? This feels like by the end of the day, it not really taking a whole lot for you to know that. Okay, enjoy the sunrise. Okay, because that's what it feels, right? When you think about the when you think about God, when you think about Christ in others, consciousness in others, that divine inner knowing exists within us all. And this feels as though the sun is rising. So this is where the God aspect of a person is being elevated, being revealed, being made known, being shown, even if it's not in a person, in a situation or circumstance. And as that's being revealed, it's also knowing that you are being taken care of, that you're being fully supported. And because of that, it feels like being very certain that things are lining up, being very confident in that, yeah, here in this too will I remain confident, which makes me feel like you've been in a position where you've had to trust that everything would work out, and suddenly things perhaps are aligning today. That divinity is shining through, that divinity is working out, right? And the sun is rising in you, and as that's elevated in you, you're seeing that mirroring quality or nature also shine through in others. And I don't know, like I said, I kind of get, for some of y'all, you could be getting, I don't know why I'm kind of getting like, this could be like, I don't know, it feels like a drop in the bucket. Like something could be a drop in the bucket for someone, but it's like someone could be giving you something that's a drop in the bucket. But whatever this is that they're giving you, it feels like it's not much to them. Um, and this don't have to be like money, right? This can be time. Someone's giving you time. Maybe they're helping, they're giving you a piece of information. And for you, it could certainly be like it opens up doors for you, opens your eyes to things, it heals you, it takes care of you. Uh, but it could certainly be that this, whoever this is, there's more where that came from. You could be doing this for someone else. I feel like just don't look at opportunities. It feels like for you to use wisdom when it comes to what feels like revealing what could be some aspects of your expertise or your power. Use it to help, because something make me feel like it's going in some way, it's going to give back to you. Or there's a reward in it. It feels like that's going to come back around. Some of you definitely getting some money back. I'm definitely picking that up. There's something you're gonna know that what feels, I don't know if there's an agreement or what's taking place, but you're gonna get some sort of sign or indication that you getting paid, or you getting some sort of money back, or you getting something is what it feels like. You're gonna know that. It feels like by the end of the day, because I feel like whoever this hermit is, for some of y'all, you owed, and you've been trying to get what it is that you owed. And I feel like something make me feel like something's taking place where this is coming across, or this is, it's getting to someone who has enough wisdom or knows enough about what feels like whatever it is that you got going on. They know enough about it to know. It kind of gives an energy of like pulling teeth. What else can I do? And something make me feel like, for those of you who are in that position, whoever you're dealing with that has wisdom enough or expertise enough to be able to know that person, it feels like you don't really, you it's like you're not gonna have to try to convince them. That person is going, it's like they already know when they're gonna take care of you. They're gonna help, is what it feels like. They're gonna support you in the ways that you need to be supported to get what feels like things in line. Okay. um um that's what I have. I think that's good for right now. I'll probably check in with Patreon members maybe a little bit later today, see how things are going. But I think that's good for now. I love you guys. Wish you all the best, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.